When you say catalyst, is that a hardener?
It's a hardener. When you pour this into a cup and then mix the color and then you add drops of the catalyst and you put it together. Now, Lee, do you have any of the miniatures that I made anywhere?
No, that's the 130. Oh, hold it.
Up.
I might.
On
I do
the-
have this right here. You make this.
Like, on the third,
No, I didn't make that.
on the window.
Oh, here you go.
Okay, so this is made with this cast and craft resin. And similarly, instead of repairing an insulator, I made the insulator out of that clay, made a mold of it in a Yoplait yogurt cup, made threads, and then I make them. But even today, if you feel this, you can still feel a little bit of stickiness. That's the problem with this product. It's sticky, but you can get it in large volume and it does work. Now here's the other problem. This product is very toxic to smell. Very, very toxic. I work on it in the basement. Debbie can smell it in the kitchen. It's really not, it's really, really bad. So if you're going to use this, then you got to use it in an outdoor area. Problem number 2, has to be at least 70 degrees. If it's below 70 degrees, this stuff will never set, and you'll just have a glob and a mold. Okay, so this is, I repaired a large Harlow claw. And this is a great example because one side of this is very smooth and looks great. The other side is wrinkled. Now, where did the wrinkling come from? The wrinkling came from me curing this too fast. This cures by heat. So you can put it in the mold, and if you're not patient, you can take that same 100-watt bowl and put it over the mold, and it'll heat it up. But you got to, I'd recommend you don't do it. Be patient and let it go, because what happens is it does, but it solidifies from the center out, which causes it to pull away from the mold, which leaves all these wrinkly lines that are on here. Now, this is just a solid pour that I did after I made the mold and did the repair. But this was done using this exact method I'm talking about. It had 2 broken claws. I made the claws in clay, and then I cast the entire insulator in this case because of how difficult it was. But again, very difficult to use, temperature and smell. Product number 2, the product I recommend. The product I recommend, some of you may have used with your kids. Easy Cast. Easy Cast is a 2-part resin, but what's great about it is it's a 50-50. So same amount of each one, and when it mixes together, then you get what you want. And this only comes in small amounts, so you're not making Jim Fristiere's insulator. You're going to do small repair. I will end up using this on Fred's, and I'll end up using this on Carl's to make sure that I got get theirs done. The challenge with each one of those is matching the color, and so I'm going to show you that next. When you do coloring, if you're using Easy Cast, you're going to mix the color of this material with dyes first, and then you're going to add the hardener. With the Easy Cast, what you're going to end up doing is you're going to end up mixing it in one of the bottles, but the color is going to be slightly off because you can see one is clear and one is amber. And so the right way to do this is to buy a bottle of this, and this is about $15 for a box. If you go to Michael's with your 40% off coupon, right? You get it every week in newspaper. Then you can repair an insulator. And what you want to do is you want to color the bottle, and then you want to pour out a little bit and put in the equal amount of hardener. Let that harden, make a dot on a piece of foil, let it dry, hold that up to the insulator. Is that right? And then if yes, go. If that's not yes, then add another drop, do it, and go forward. Let me show you an example of that. The advantage of this Easy Cast is the smell is not bad at all. Not bad at all. And it's 1-to-1, so you don't get caught up in whether or not it's going to be sticky. It won't be sticky. This will not be sticky. The downside of this is that your mold has to be very, very smooth, because if it's not, you won't get a shiny, smooth surface. You can still cut. You can still take care of that with the spray after the fact, but that's how it works. But let me just show you the challenge of mixing. So what I have here is just a plastic cup, and I'm going to waste a little bit of this material. You get green dye, you get yellow dye, you get blue dye, and you get red dye.
Did you buy the dyes at the same place?
You
Michael's?
you can buy this at Michael's. You can
Okay.
what it'll come like that: yellow, blue, and red. Primary colors.
Right.
Make any color you want. You can online order the one that you're going to use the most on insulators, which is green in a large bottle. But you have to know your color wheel. Okay, so blue and red make purple. Red and yellow make orange. Okay, yeah, you got it. Now the hard thing is what makes dark olive green. All right, so we'll see if we can make some dark olive green here. So I'm gonna take a little bit of this material, put this in, and it's got a Caro syrup consistency. Okay, that's the consistency of it. And use the clear, and so you can see clear. What color should we make?
Pea soup green.
Yellow olive green.
Yellow olive green. All right. So if we're going to make yellow olive green, all right. So we're going to take and put literally that much, a drop. Okay. And now we stir that. And when you stir that in, our color now looks like a KCGW, right?
Yeah.
About a KCGW. Okay, so that wasn't enough. But you don't want to go whole hog green because green will overpower. So what we're going to do now is make yellow green. So we'll take a drop of yellow. Put a drop of yellow in there. One drop. Stir that bad boy up. Okay, so now we have a CD 133 HG code.
Yeah.
Check.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's still not dark. That's not dark enough, but we can see we got yellow green. So, all right. So now we're going to go big dog. We're going to go 3 drops. 1, 2, 3. This stuff does stain your fingers. It washes off after a couple days. And it will come off your table, I promise. Okay, and 1, 2, 3. And literally, this is how you do it. You got to sit there and do this,
Play with it until
and
you
play
get
with it, and play with it, and play with it. So we stir that up.
Does it darken after it dries?
Not much, not much. All right. So now we've got, looks like a Brookfield 126 to me.
A good one.
A good one. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we're getting there, but we wanted olive green. All right. So that means we need some brown. Ooh. Okay. So what's brown?
Red.
Okay. Well, we'll go drop of red. One drop of red. We need a drop of yellow.
Do you have this mapped out?
No,
So you know how to make your colors?
I just know it.
Okay.
And then we need a drop of blue. Tiny, tiny bit of blue. All right. So, now, here we go. Now this is the darker the color of the insulator, the harder it is. And blue will absolutely dominate your color, as will green. But, with that said,
There it is.
there it is, right? So there's the yellow olive green. All right. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to put in an equal amount of the other one. And I'm eyeballing this, I recognize. One thing I figured out was you can put the bottles side by side, and hopefully they're close enough. Actually, you want to be much more precise than that, because it can get screwy. Then you stir this up real good. Come on.
Can you feel it thicken?
No, it won't start feeling thick for about 15-20 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Um,
You have to continually stir it.
Well, you're gonna stir it until it's completely mixed in one color. Okay, has somebody got an empty Dixie cup? Are you done, Con?
Yep. Well, it has a little bit of soda.
That's okay, I'm just gonna put this straw in there. All right, now let me pass this around. Everybody look at it quickly and you're gonna see how many bubbles are in there.
Use a
Yeah.
vibrator.
Fill the bubbles.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, definitely.
Just go ahead and keep passing it so everybody can see it.
Go ahead.
Can you use a vibrating thing to get rid of the
You
bubbles?
can, you
That's what I
can.
thought. I just didn't know
I'm
if it-
trying while it's running and
Yeah,
we'll get it out. But you can see that doesn't have much of an odor. That's why I like the 1-to-1 and
Yeah.
not a lot of odor. All right. What do you think, Fred? Is that a good color?
Yeah, it looks like my insulator.
All right, so once you've got it in there, once you're satisfied, you're gonna, before you pour it in the mold, you're gonna tap it to get the bubbles all to come to the top. Okay, they're coming to the top. But you would keep doing that, and then when it's all ready, then you're gonna pour it in the mold. And then once it's in the mold, you're gonna rise the bubbles again. Now what's going to happen is, on this mold right here I made an error. And the error is, there's no place for air to escape. So, think of a Brookfield 145 with the 4 vent holes for the glass. It is exactly the same concept. You want to make a pinhole at multiple locations so that as you're tapping it, the air has a place to escape. And it's okay if you have these little long bang drips that you can then trim off with a knife afterwards. But without the air holes, the bubble's going to get captured inside the insulator and oftentimes leave an opening that's kind of ugly, and then you got to go back and fill it in, which if you haven't saved any of your color, try and match the color that you just made, it gets painful. Okay. So
So do you actually like mold toothpicks into the top of that, then pull them out to make
absolutely,
vents or something?
absolutely.
That's what I
Toothpick
thought.
would work great, or a straw for a big insulator.
Okay.
I'm just going to set,
Yeah.
okay, it's clean. I'm going to set this over here, and tonight you will have an olive green hockey puck. All right, so one last thing. We talked about working on complete insulators and making those with molds and all the rest of that. However, many repairs, the insulators are not complete. You want this glass adhesive super glue. It's available at Home Depot. This is UV glue. So what happens is, if you take this and you spread it on an insulator and move it around and you get it just right, you do it inside the house, away from the sun, you walk out and hold it in the sun for a minute and it's glued. It will adhere. So what you do is, ideally the best way to do this is to put more glue on than you need so that you have a film over the entire intersection. Squeeze it together and you can look and see if there's any air bubbles, and then take it outside. That will leave a little rib, if you will, on either side of the thing, but then you can trim that off, and if you take some acetone, which you can get out of your wife's fingernail polish remover, if she's using acetone, she may be using a non-caustic, stains your hands, but you can wipe that off. And so that's how you put the insulators together. So this again is called glass adhesive super glue, available at Home Depot. This is $3 and something cents, cheap stuff. But this is a way that if you separate 2 insulators, it'll do it. In fact,
I have some.
yeah, go get the one that's on the wall.
Well,
We'll put it together.
You can also buy acetone at Home
What's
Depot.
that?
Yeah,
You can buy that.
you have that 2
Well,
pieces.
I got a piece of glass in here you can do, because I was going to do it later today. It's my
Well-
daughter had a little glass dish she wanted fixed.
All right, bring it here. Let me go wash my hands,
Just wait.
and let's get something to wipe your table off so you don't forever remember this moment.
Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, that's the one.
It's
What's
up
it
for
at?
bid right now.
What is it up to?
I think $30 was